All right, 2 albums with I Mother Earth, 3 solo albums. He's got his new band, Crash Karma, expecting an album from those guys in March. I am joined with lead singer Edwin. How you doing today, Edwin?
Doing great, Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us and taking the time to talk with us. Now, I've heard rumors that the new album is coming out in March. Do you guys have an official release date yet?
Not an actual date, but it will be in the beginning of March, probably the first or second week.
Title for the album yet?
It's just going to be self-titled, Crash Karma.
Self-titled Crash Karma. Which brings me to the next question. The name, Crash Karma, what's the significance of that?
Oh, well, we needed a name, you know.
That's simple, eh?
Well, we were tossing around a bunch of names for a couple of weeks, and there's always somebody that didn't like the names we come up with, somebody in the band. So,
are you allowed to reveal some of the other ones that you didn't use?
No, not really.
All right, man. All right.
Most of the time, that conversation would digress into the stupidest names you could come up with.
Yeah. Well, I like Crash Karma, man. I think it works.
Thank you. I feel we kind of karmically crashed together.
That makes sense, which brings me to the next question. Now, Mike Turner, formerly of Our Lady Peace, Jeff Burrows, of course, of the Tea Party, and Amir Epstein of Zygote. How did the 4 of you guys get together?
Well, Mike Turner, Jeff Burrows, and I have known each other for years from way back in our previous band. And Amir, through a mutual friend of ours, asked if he could meet with me to talk about co-writing some songs, because he's a very talented songwriter and musician. And so I met with him, which is something I wouldn't normally do, but I did. And we're talking over coffee, and he's like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we had a band and it was Jeff Burrows on drums, Mike Turner on guitar, I'm playing bass, and you're singing? I'm like, no, not really. But I said, yeah, those guys probably wouldn't do it, but you know, if you could talk them into doing it, I would. I'd give it some thought. So he ran off and he went and asked those guys individually, and basically they were like, what, Ed'll do it? And he says, yeah. So then all of a sudden, next thing you knew, we were all sitting in Mike Turner's studio, and we decided, all right, let's try this. Let's try writing some songs. And next thing you know, we got 11 songs and a Crash Karma record.
So you pretty much have Amir to blame for all this then, eh?
Absolutely. I will hold him responsible for everything.
All right, so you kind of mentioned it there, Our Lady Peace, Tea Party, and I Mother Earth, really huge during like the Canadian rock scene during the 90s. And when I first heard you guys, rumors anyway, that you guys were maybe getting together to do some stuff, I guess that was back like literally in 2008 when I first started hearing rumors. The word supergroup, which is kind of a buzzword going on right now, do you guys consider yourself like a Canadian supergroup? You can be modest if you want.
Well, no one in our band is allowed to say the term supergroup. So, I'll just tell you that right now we're focusing on being a good group, and hopefully we'll achieve super very soon.
Nice. The sound of the new album, I mean, you guys got the guys from all these different bands together. Is it OLP-esque? Is it Tea Party-esque? Or are you guys just creating your own new sound?
Honestly, the first single, Awake, that's doing really well right now, when I listened to that song, when we had finished recording it, I sat back and I thought, wow, that actually does sound like Our Lady Peace meets the Tea Party meets I Mother Earth. But that's really the only song on the record that gives me that feeling. The rest of it, the other 10 songs, they sound pretty much like a new band. I can't really say it sounds like, you know, it's always going to sound a little bit like his previous bands, right? But Mike does his tasty guitar stuff all over the record, and Jeff Burrows is one of my favorite drummers. It doesn't really sound like any of those 3 bands, but it does sound like a new, exciting band.
Mm-hmm. So, Mike, you mentioned you guys were at his studio, and he does a lot of production work. Did he do most of the production on the album then, or did you guys share duties?
Well, I will give Mike the producer credit, because that's pretty much what he did do. He produced the record, although he had the whole band sitting on his shoulder, pretty much going, try this, try that, do this. That.
Yeah.
But officially, Mike was the producer, in his studio.
Are you guys going to make a video for the new single, Awake?
Not 100% sure we're going to do one for Awake, but I know we're going to do one for the next single, which is supposed to be a song called Fight. It's supposed to be mostly animated, so we're having fun with that, and I don't want to give away too much, but it has something to do with a bit of a UFC sort of theme to the video.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's perfect for the song, really.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so you released, with I Mother Earth back in 1993, you guys released Dig. Now it's 2009, almost 2010. When you kind of look back on things, like the last 16, 17 years, back then, did you expect to be doing what you're doing, like making music for the last 17 years, or was that the plan all along, or are you surprised with yourself?
Well, I would say that was the dream. I can't say it was the plan. It was a tentative plan, but making a 17-year plan in the music entertainment industry is pretty much, you pay your money, you take your chances kind of thing. I'm very happy that it's been a fruitful career. I feel I've had the blessing of working with some amazing musicians, some amazing people, and in the back of my head, it was always my goal to just make music for the rest of my life. But the fact that I've actually been able to do it this long, it has been a blessing.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, Edwin, actually, one of my very first concerts when I was a wee young teenager, I believe it was Pacific Coliseum, I Mother Earth with Moist, and you guys really put on quite the show. And I mean, ever since then, I've been huge into music, so I pretty much have you to thank for that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I remember that show quite well, actually. Yeah, I remember standing in the Pacific Coliseum doing sound check, just looking around, going, "Wow,
what are we doing up here?
Yeah, I don't belong here."
Awesome.
No, it was a great time, and thank you very much for that.
You're very, very welcome again. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us again. You said it yourself, Awake is doing great. People up here in Prince George are really digging the new single, and we can't wait for the brand new Crash Karma album, all right?
Awesome, man. We'll be out there in March to play for you guys.
All right, in March. You're promising, right?
I'm promising.
All right, Edwin. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, buddy.
All the best to you.